2 ניקוד 1 ניקוד zayin. אני מבקש. You may recall in the previous unit an activity where you used the inquiry מה אתה מבקש in order to discover what someone was looking for. The present activity will resemble that previous one with a bit of enrichment. Now as you respond, you'll be able to describe the object you're looking for with a higher degree of sophistication or complexity. Before engaging the activity proper, please draw your attention to the word in holotype in the Hebrew sentence before you. Ich yomeru bihudit et shem ho'oniya. Ich yomeru bihudit et shem ho'oniya. This sentence comes from the current Jonah episode, line 5. The word et will signal for us a definite direct object. It will directly precede that definite direct object. So in the current sentence, Shem Ho'oniya is a direct object. It is definite because Ho'oniya is definite. Consequently, this definite direct object can suitably be preceded by the particle et. If it is helpful, you may want to consider et as a preposition, although there's no corresponding preposition in the English language. It will be untranslatable in English, but useful as we read Hebrew because it will flag for us when a particular word or phrase is operating as a direct object. We also find this untranslatable particle et in the following statement, excerpted from the current Jonah episode. Lo avin et lashon tarshish. Lo avin et lashon tarshish. By way of reminder, the phrase lashon tarshish is definite, although it has no definite article, owing to the fact that Tarshish is a name, a proper noun. Now let's turn to the actual expressions you'll use for engaging this activity with a friend. Practice these so that when you meet with your friends in class, you'll be able to use them easily. The inquiry would sound like this. Ma ata mevakesh. Ma ata mevakesh. That's the masculine form. If the person you're addressing is a woman, use this instead. Ma at mevakeshet. Ma at mevakeshet. The sample reply indicates that the person you're inquiring of is hunting for David's bread. Why would they be hunting for David's bread? Perhaps he loaned it to them and they misplaced it, and now they're trying to find it in order to return it to him. For whatever reason, they're looking for David's bread in this sample reply. Et lechem David ani mevakesh. That's if the person speaking is a man. If the person speaking is a woman, et lechem David ani mevakeshet. Notice particularly the use of the particle et preceding the definite direct object, lechem David. So the correct phrase is et lechem David. As you're practicing this exchange, it's not necessary to remain with simply et lechem David. Think of something else. For the purposes of reinforcing this particular principle, please confine yourself to a definite direct object. As a final comment concerning this segment, notice again the reply statement. Et lechem David ani mevakesh, or in the case of a feminine speaker, ani mevakeshet. This sentence rests on a participle, mevakesh. Thus the combination ani mevakesh means I am seeking. That in itself would represent a sentence. If the speaker or writer is making no particular emphasis, then the object which he is seeking would typically follow that phrase. Ani mevakesh would be the first part, and then the object et lechem David would be the last part. That's not the case as we have it here. Instead, the object Et lechem David precedes the subject. The subject happens to be a pronoun here, ani. When the object precedes the subject of this participial verb, then attention is being drawn to that object. We call this fronting or frontal extrapositioning. It's a technique that the writers of Biblical Hebrew like to use, and a technique that is not always captured in English translations of the Bible. So it's very useful to become comfortable with recognizing when an object is being drawn attention to by being fronted ahead of the subject in a participial phrase.